I want to be your president because we need fundamental economic and political change in this country. I plan on forming proposals to create jobs for the middle class, make college affordable for everyone, improve climate change, and stop billionaires from owning this beautiful country. I'm Bernie Sanders, and I approve this message.
I'm Lauren Sebesta, and I am head of the Environmental Interest Group. It has come to my attention that fracking is still very active in our society, and I would like to bring this to an end. Fracking involves injecting fracturing fluid at high pressure down a borehole to create fractures in rock formations, which enables shale gas to be extracted. Without the ban of fracking, water supplies can be contaminated due to hazardous substances in the fracking fluid, and when fracking moves into an area, property values can sink to zero. There are constant reports of fracking operations contaminating aquifers, and research has found indications that higher rates of silicosis among well workers. An increase in congenital defects to children born nearby is also one of the many risks, along with elevated cancer risk due to air pollution. We strongly disagree with the use of fracking and strive for it to become banned not only in New York and Vermont, but all over the United States. Bernie Sanders has done his part by supporting our beliefs and caring for our future of our environment. He is not only willing to speak out on the topic that many steer clear of, but he also cares for the well-being of the generations to come who will have to live with the consequences of our continued use of fracking.
We're so glad you could be with us today.
Thank you for having me.
I think it's best we get straight to the important stuff. We all are aware of the intense situations that have been occurring in places such as Baltimore. There is no denying that there have been major problems lately between the citizens and the police.
True. Police brutality is at an all-time high in our country, and there are some very important steps that must be taken to fix it.
We're all very curious to what these steps are.
We must fight hard for police reform, for body cameras, and for the proper training of police officers to deal with people in captivity with respect.
Can you tell me more about your feelings of all the recent chaos directly related to police? You must have an opinion on the Ferguson case.
At the end of the day, police must be seen as part of a community and not an occupying force.
I think you've made some very interesting points here. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us this morning.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Late Night. I'm your host, Natalie Manchin. Tonight we have Bernie Sanders, the U.S. Senator for Vermont and presidential candidate for the 2016 election. We have received many Twitter questions from our viewers. Do you mind if I ask you a few?
Go right ahead.
At Bobo Brian. And Bobo says, are Ben and Jerry a part of your Social Security plan?
Bobo, right now, an American who makes $106,800 a year pays the same amount of money into the Social Security system as a millionaire or a billionaire. I will be introducing the Keeping Social Security Promises Act as soon as the Senate gets back into session. This legislation, I will strengthen Social Security for the next 75 years by asking the wealthiest Americans to pay their fair share into Social Security.
Chick69 asks, as your biggest fan, I want to know, how are you planning on widening the gap between the rich and poor XOXO?
In terms of income, the top 1% earns more income than the bottom 50%. I believe that we should be asking the very wealthiest people in this country to start paying their fair share of taxes. That way, we will not only lower the deficit, but we will bring in enough revenue to invest in our economy and create the millions of new jobs.
Well, thanks so much for being on the show. We loved having you.
We need our new president to take a stand and provide the right for everyone. Hillary Clinton does not have a new plan. She thinks we are on the right track in many respects. In short, She's playing it safe. She says that she is going to fix the system, but she hasn't said how. We need a new healthcare system, and we need Bernie Sanders to enforce it. He has introduced legislation to provide healthcare through a Medicare for all single-payer system. And unlike Hillary, he is ready to make a new and strong healthcare system that we actually provide for the citizens.